timing gear seizing.
Yeah, timing gear idler, don't talk to me about that thing.
Jesus. The crank sensor failing halfway along.
No CO2, no fuel.
Fuel. Blow-off valve line coming off. No boost.
Then all the boost.
And all the wheel spin.
Definitely all the wheel spin. All the wheel spin at Mildura, me throwing my toys out of the cot like a little kid and smacking the dash. Looking like a dickhead.
Yes. The dust storms, then thunderstorms.
Snapping a converter off. Why do we even do this? I'm surprised we made it to day 5.
Got me.
Street Machine Drag Challenge is different to a normal drag racing event in that every car has to be a street registered car and has to do 5 days of drag racing. This isn't an event where you can do one pass and you can win, or you have knockouts and you can put the car back on the trailer. In fact, they put a little box trailer on it and we go to all the different tracks.
Monday morning. We're heading to Calder Park to start the shenanigans.
Day 1 was a pain in the ass, wasn't it? With boost control, or lack of.
Yeah, we had a couple of runs where it was not making any boost, running rich, had...
Typical problem where you could blame the ECU like a lot of people do.
Had a bit of a think about it though, and if it's running rich and not making boost, makes sense that there's an air leak.
Turns out that we had a broken reference line to the blow-off valves.
Yep, that's it. So gates were opening up pretty much the whole way down the strip. That's not going to win us any favours there. So you managed to burn yourself several times while jamming that line back on.
We got 3rd outright on Monday.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we were 3rd outright with the 650 at 180 mile an hour.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, nice.
So, no, sorry, 170 mile an hour.
Yeah, when we left Calder, heading to up to Swan Hill, we cruising along happily, and then...
Right, as Luke says, I love this car. Nothing ever goes wrong with this car.
And then the crank sensor failed. So, sorry, that was definitely my fault. I should have shut my mouth.
Now we've made it down to... we just had a crank angle sensor issue. These dart blocks just hold way too much heat. Cooked the crank angle sensor. We ended up getting one brought out to us. So over the moon about that. Thanks for all the help there from everybody. Banged that in on the side of the road while you drank beer.
I did, yep.
Keeping Heltec proud, doing that stuff.
The boss told me to.
And yeah, now we're in Elmore at the first stop, so we've got this amazing old train station down at Elmore.
Yep. Still a bit of a lap. Day 2. Day 2 was sunset. What was it?
Luke's trying to forget the end part of day 1 though. Luke's never slept in a swag. Never set a swag up. Never had anything to do with a swag or a sleeping bag, I don't think. So I finally got to have a beer and sit there and laugh my ass off at Luke trying to set a swag up, which took far too long.
It was about 45 minutes. The other blokes had set up their swag in maybe 5 tops, and they were sitting down in their nice little chairs like these fellows, drinking beer, laughing at me, going, "What's this? What's that do?" Swan Hill, great track. The pits were rather dirty and dusty though.
In saying that, I think it's a really good rural venue. The guys there and everyone that volunteers do their best, and they need some more funding to make things happen, like sealing the pits and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely.
I think you'll agree the track was top notch. The effort that the guys there put into everything was top notch.
Yep, everything was like a well-oiled machine.
The facilities, from toilets to showers to everything's just killer.
Yep, very good. So a bit more funding there, and that's going to be a top track in Victoria, I think. Yeah, that was great. So I remember quite vividly seeing you go down the strip and do a 796, and I started jumping around going, "Yes, that's amazing, how cool is that?" And you came back and you were like, "Oh, ho hum." Next run was a 788 at 168.
Again, being flustered and everybody forgetting to check the CO2. And I still remember I come back in and said it just sounded a bit funny at the end, so I got out of it at 1,000 foot. Yeah. And then we opened the boot and CO2 was empty.
Yep, so at about 1,000 foot you had no boost and lifted off. Still rolled through 788 at 168. So
but
cracker of an effort.
It was a 780, so I was fairly happy, and happy Adam come back in the circle then.
Yeah, we had a gigantic dust storm come through in the afternoon there. Because of the dirt in the pits, the red dirt, it was like being a sandblasting cabinet. We were just getting peppered. It was very, very hard work. I was just brown, well actually more of a red everywhere. My hair felt like it was made out of clay. For an IT guy, I'm used to being in a nice clean office. It was one hell of an experience. And then after the dust storm, where we couldn't see because of brown, then it became a thunderstorm and we couldn't see because of water. So that was...
And then halfway between Swan Hill and Mildura, heading up a hill, and seeing people pulled over on the side of the hill, backed off, and all of a sudden all four wheels started sliding.
Yeah.
And we look over in the grass and somebody in a Mustang's come off the road and into a tree.
That was the
not a severe accident, nobody was hurt, but it just goes to show that the road conditions, how quick they can change. So Mildura day 3. Mildura's always been a bad omen for me.
Yeah.
The place gives me anxiety. Just every time for the last however many years we've been there. Once we had nothing but fuel pump, injector and wiring issues that didn't happen any other day of Drag Challenge in No Show. Then we had fuel pump issues consistently, overheating issues, everything with All Show. It's the only place that I ever had dramas. So I was pretty nervous going there. I wanted to get there, get all set up early, have the car race prepped before the day, which kind of set the path for the rest of our trip, didn't it?
It did, yeah. Even for me, I thought it was it was much more satisfying to be able to wake up in the morning and go, we're done, we're ready, the car's already sitting there, good to go. So you were way less stressed because we didn't have to worry about prepping a car and getting everything ready before you can get on the strip. We had all the time in the world and had a bacon and egg roll and chilled out and game face on and...
Went out, 540 off the bat. Got loaded up, put some fuel in the car, headed off. Had to go to a pub for dinner. Had to stop past a pub. Not going to mention the pub, but had to stop past a pub. I asked the question, is anything on the menu fresh? Yes, it's all fresh. Fresh out of the freezer.
How was your dinner?
No comment.
Cameron. Yeah. How's the steak? Great. Have you got a spoon?
At least we got to go from there. It was still daylight when we took off, and just into the dark, just into the night, we got to come into Swan Hill, set up our swags, and have a beer.
It was a great. I actually think that Mildura was probably the best day for ease,
Being
and
relaxed.
comfort. And,
It was the easiest trip.
yeah,
I believe it was the easiest trip back
Yeah.
in.
Being set up on the all ready for day 4 was great.
Day 4 at Swan Hill, that's when Adam got real grumpy. Poor connection on a wire off a trans brake, signalling back into the ECU. Didn't understand what was going, kept looking at our boost over race timetables, kept looking at the data logs going, this doesn't quite match up. And we were basically getting all the boost straight away and found out that our race timer wasn't resetting, which was lucky. It popped into my brain. I grabbed the computer. Literally, we were 3 cars back. I'm in full race suit. Had a look, found out what it was doing, fixed the issue then and there. Went out, and from memory, went a 780.
Yeah.
On that pass?
780 on that. Just fix that one problem, straight into a 780.
Yeah. Luke does what Luke does best and says, geez, I love this car. Awesome bit of gear. Nothing ever goes wrong with this car. And then we went to pull out the gate, put it in top gear, and broke the snout off our converter.
Yeah,
Again, thanks, Luke.
we haven't slept since then.
We literally haven't, no. So that was last night. That was last night.
Oh,
And we were on the side of the road, pulling transmissions out, modifying another converter that one of the boys had, running out of batteries for everything, using hacksaws, box in and out like 5 times to make this converter work. Finally got it done at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Currently cruising 20 k's out from Swan Hill Raceway. We had the neck of our torque converter managed to snap off. So all the MPW guys have band together and got a spare converter into the car on the side of the road.
We get to McDonald Brothers Racing.
yep.
And
graciously lent us their.
Chris and the boys let us use the hoist.
So that's it.
Box
So-
out again,
Box out again.
converter repaired, converter back in, got it all running up, put some new boots on the back, set up suspension and everything to come here.
Yep. Put in 40 litres of your E85.
Finally made it back to Melbourne. We've come down to McDonald Brothers Racing, which is just around the corner from the track. We've used their equipment and been able to weld and repair the converter. We've got that back in the car, so box out and back in again. We've put some fresh rubber on the back of the car and hoping to get a 670 or better today if we can.
Yeah.
And pot it over here and
Yeah, which is
Get
what,
ready to rock.
15 k's away.
Yep.
So just cruised over here, went out first pass, 651 at 168. Said, yeah, I'm happy with the 650 when we come here, and I was over the moon with that.
yeah, to get it first hit, that was great.
So I went out for another pass, blew tyres off, tried putting too much into it. Went out once more, and mind you, we put 40 litres of fuel in the car. Hooked up better than it's ever hooked up before, was faster than it's ever been before, and then thank God Haltech engine protection comes on when the fuel pressure dropped because we were out of fuel. So half track, or before half track, out of fuel.
That's it. So we're using something like 15 litres per pass.
Yeah, something up around there.
Yeah, chews through it pretty quickly.
Yet the same car's getting nearly 500 k's to a tank on the open road.
Yeah.
So, which again, we did pretty well at guessing how much fuel had to go in it for each drive.
Yeah. I made a comment along the road there to driving along country roads. This thing feels like a standard VK with a 308. It's just a nice sort of thing to cruise along in. I absolutely love this car. It's such a testament to your talents at MPW. Love it. I want one.
I think the hardest thing here is to make cars last a week. Look, without being rude to anybody else, running an 850 to a 90 car, 10-second car consistently is something that you can do because you're not having it right on that brink of its power level or anything like that. Yeah. Having something like what we're running, like Luke's running 8.0, almost dipped into the sevens first time out. Having things like Dave's Haltech Elite powered VY Commodore, which is what, 427 cube, twin 75mm turbos, weighs 4,400 pound with him in it, and it's running 850s.
Yep, you can't. You couldn't expect a car like this to last if you didn't have sensors like EGT probes. Imagine if you had a blow-through carby. It just you wouldn't survive.
That's why it's a thing of the past, though. That's why. Without data, you're guessing, I guess, is the easiest way to say it. And that's why we put all these new sensors on my car. And every issue that we had, we found out via data.
That's right.
So it's nice and easy to get there. I guess, as I say, to make this work, it's just a mission, both emotionally and physically. Not only the week that we're out, but the weeks leading up to it. And
that's right.
It's Luke come down on... When did you get with us? Wednesday.
Wednesday last week. Yeah.
What's been the biggest night's sleep you've had since then, do you reckon?
We had that one early night where we went to the Irish pub. That got us about 5-6 hours sleep, I think.
That's the biggest sleep we've had.
That was a big relaxing sleep in. Yeah, that was good.
And then you've got every other night, 3 hours if you do sleep.
Yeah, that's right. I'm looking forward to a nice cold beer and then a nice warm bed after a nice warm shower, actually, because I think there's still some Swan Hill on me.
I've been watching you go downhill for the last week. Every day you're sliding further down. So I reckon you're going to sleep for about a month.
It's very good work. It's been a great week. It's been hell, but it's also been amazing. And I'm definitely keen to do it again next year.
And the good thing is as well, I'll say, having a company like Haltech throwing their guys out into the field to get hands-on experience and real-world experience makes all the difference from just going, but this is what it does in our test lab. Yeah. And as you would have realised this week, it's not the same in a test lab.
That's right.
So I'm sure you've come a lot of knowledge from ourselves and everything. I'm sure you've come away with a lot of things that you've learnt over the week of what's actually happening.
Definitely.
But not only that, every time I went to talk to you at every different track, there's somebody else that you were helping in the pits. There was somebody else that you were giving them backup support with their Haltech ECUs. There's somebody else that you were setting up sensors and you were trying to figure out a misfire from a faulty sensor. There's you trying to fix a throttle body issue.
Yep.
That was down to a cheap throttle body.
Yeah, it had a Chinese throttle body on it, so that was making life hard.
Still, you spent the time and you went through with them and you were constantly helping everybody out with the ECUs. And I think, as I say, at an event like this, when you're tired, you're emotional, to be able to still do that is amazing.
Yeah, I don't think I yelled at anyone this week, so there's still tonight. There's still tonight, so...
Yeah, I wish I could say the same.
You did yell a bit.
You're talking about the Mo. Come on, mate. This caterpillar took some growing. Why do we both have seedy facial hair, Luke?
Well, we've been long-standing members of the Movember movement. It's definitely a great cause. I have seen my chin for the first time in about 8 years.
Which one?
Well, that's the thing. Last time I saw my chin, I only had one. So this has not been my favourite endeavour.